Shalom, shalom, shalom. I want to first and foremost start by giving infinite praise, honor, and glory unto Yahweh Ba'Hashem, Yahweh Shah Ba'Hashem Rechak. I like to say Shalom, Washem, Kabad, Gadawala Rakab, Zequayim Nawa, Wahashala Yakim Nawa, which of course is double honors to our elders and apostles of Great Millstone, and Shalom Wabarakim Labakaryim Shal Yasha Allah, which is peace and blessings unto the elect. I'm the brother Dawud Dow from the DC Church, back with another short lesson through the Spirit and Power Yahweh Ba'Hashem Yahweh Shai, and most likely this video is just going to be, I'll probably entitle it something like various topics, prophecy update, somewhere along those lines. There's just many things that has been going on within a short span of time. I say within like the past week. You had the Charlie Kirk incident, which a lot of brothers did videos on, and now they're trying to find a suspect, or the suspect that shot him. They claim they found someone, but who knows if that's really the guy. And that has scriptures talk about how the Egyptians shall be turned against the Egyptians in Isaiah the 19th chapter. And pretty much that's what we see. We see the conservatives are more headstrong against the liberals, because of this incident. And this is just causing a deeper division between the people in this country. Okay. This is all prophecy. So another thing that you have going on, you have France is preparing for war against Russia. It says France prepares for war as Russia attacks NATO. And apparently Russia invaded, well, they say invaded, but a lot of these news outlets like to spin or dramatize what's actually happening. But what pretty much happened was you had some Russian drones enter into Polish airspace. Apparently there's been no casualties reported or things of that nature, but as that happened, you have these other countries who are part of NATO pretty much getting riled up, and there's been tensions between France and Russia for a while now. Like, for example, this title right here says 2 weeks ago, Russia condemned French President Emmanuel Macron for calling the Russian President Vladimir Putin an ogre at our gates. So you see they view them as like scum. They view them as an enemy, clearly. Okay. And those tensions are only rising even more too. Another incident that happened, you had that stabbing, which again, a lot of brothers know about. All right, that happened in Charlotte, North Carolina. A woman gets on a bus, and you have some bugged out Jake. And there's all type of conspiracies behind what's going on and what actually happened. But you got this bugged out Jake, who just ended up, deleting this woman. All right. He had a knife, and, he punctured her with the knife. And now you have all types of uproars about that as well. You have, basically you have, the MAGA against these Jakes, man. More conservatives against liberal action. Okay. And then lastly, all right, which I have here is Russia invading Poland. And so I did like a little AI search on it, all right, about Russia invading Poland. And then also, man, it's just so much things going on in the world. You had the French government that just collapsed. All right, it wasn't an economic collapse in the sense of a non-functioning state, but it was a collapse in the sense of lack of confidence. Okay, so it says the Bayrou government, led by President Minister Francis Bayrou, was defeated in a no-confidence vote on September 8th. The vote was triggered by largely by opposition of Bayrou's proposed budget plan, which included a $44 billion in deficit reduction measure, tax increases, spending cuts. It says Bayrou lost the vote by 364 to 194 in the National Assembly. Following the collapse, President Emmanuel Macron appointed Sebastian, I'm not sure how to say his last name, as the new prime minister. Okay, so now they have a new prime minister in in France. It says the collapse is a formal government change, not a complete constitutional collapse, and a parliamentary system losing a no confidence vote forces the government to resign. So yes, the government collapsed. That government collapsed, but the state continues functioning. Okay, so again, just various things happening, man. But one thing that I asked the AI was about Russia invading Poland. All right, details of Russia invading Poland. It says, here's a detailed look of what is known so far about the incidents, tensions, and claims related to Russia and Poland, especially regarding airspace violations or incursions. As of now, there are no verified news that Russia has launched a full-scale invasion of Poland. What has happened are incidences that many view as serious provocations or tests of NATO's readiness. I'll lay out the facts, what's uncertain, and what's being discussed. So it could just be Russia testing NATO's readiness. They could say, oh, well, we did that, but it was an accident. Who knows, how this would spin or how this would play out. But it says what has actually happened. It says a drone incursion into Polish airspace on the 9th and the 10th of September. All right, I'm just going to read the highlights. It says an invocation of NATO Article 4. It says Poland invoked Article 4 of NATO in response. Article 4 means a member wants to consult with allies because it perceives a threat to its security. It is a serious diplomatic step, but not the same as invoking Article 5, collective defense. Okay, so things are really heating up. It says Operation Eastern Sentry. In reaction to these incursions, NATO launched an operation named Eastern Sentry. Its goal is to strengthen NATO's eastern flank, especially for airspace and defense readiness. Statements in public reaction, Polish leader have said that this was a provocation and a serious violation. Russia and Belarus also conducted joint military exercises following these events. Some analysts view the drone excursions as a test of NATO's response time and readiness. All right, so pretty much that's what's happening, man. And as you can see, it's a long laundry list of things happening, and it's happening all at the same time. All right. Why? Because what's getting ready to happen is the Heavenly Father is preparing, all right, or the Heavenly Father is getting ready to send his son back to earth. All right. And the reason why is because of the rulership upon the earth. Okay. The ones who are ruling the earth, all right, have ruled the earth with rigor, all right, have destroyed nations, okay, have stolen cultures, have stripped lands of its resources. All right, there's been all types of debauchery and all types of injustices that has happened in the world, man. All right, since Esau has ruled. So I'm gonna bring this out real quick. Daniel chapter 8 and 25. And through his policy, also he will cause craft to prosper in his hand, and he shall magnify himself in his heart, and by peace shall destroy many. Okay. He shall also stand up against the prince of princes, but shall be broken without hand. All right. And now who is this talking about? This is talking about the physical counterpart of spiritual demon Satan, which are you damn Edomites, man. All right. Namely, the NATO and EU nations. Okay. Though that's the last leg of Nebuchadnezzar's statue. All right. The feet of iron and clay. Okay. This is the last leg, man. The 10 toes. All right. That is a representation of who is in rulership at this current junction. And namely, it makes up you Edomites. Okay. French, of course, America, Great Britain. All right, I'm not going to name all of them, but all of these countries collectively, all right, have been ruling the earth with rigor. Okay. And they've caused craft to prosper in their hand because they come to these places, in the guise of peace, but really, they have underlying intentions. Just like, how France has been a neo-colonist of Africa for the last past basically for the last past decade. All right, for the last a couple of decades. Okay, and now you finally have countries like Burkina Faso kicking them out. Okay, and doing their own thing. All right. So let me get some more precepts. This is Ecclesiastes chapter 10, Ecclesiasticus or Sirach chapter 10, and I'll start at verse 1. It says, "A wise judge will instruct his people, and the government of a prudent man is well ordered." You see? It says, "As a judge of the people is himself, so are his officers, and what manner of man the ruler of a city is, such are all they that dwell therein." And that's right. Because you saw as soon as Trump came into presidency, all right, all of these right wing MAGA, super extremist conservatives, basically, they felt like they had a voice again. Like they could be, these racist Edomites. They felt like they were getting their good old America back. All right. Why? Because look at the ruler. Okay. He moves very proudly. All right. And he basically reaffirmed that pride. All right. Back in the people. Okay. So just as the ruler is himself, so are all his officers. All right. And as well as the people of the city. It says an unwise king destroyeth his people, but through the prudence of them which are in authority, a city shall be inhabited. Okay. It said the power of the earth is handed. The power of the earth is in the hand of the Lord, and in due time he will set up over it one that is profitable. And that's right. And that one that is profitable, of course, is speaking about Yahweh Shai. All right. So in due time, these things are going to happen. And this is why we see all of these things happening, all right, at the same damn time. Okay, because Yahweh Shai gave us a list of things that were going to happen in these last days. All right, he told us that, the love of many shall wax cold. All right, and iniquity shall be increased. Okay, this is exactly what we see happening and exactly what we see going on in the world. Okay, it says, verse 5, "In the hand of the Most High is the prosperity of man, and upon the person of the scribe shall he lay his honor." All right. I'm going to just jump. Okay. "Bear not hatred of thy neighbor for every wrong, and do nothing at all by injurious practices." It says, "Pride is hateful before God and men, and by both doth one commit iniquity." And that's how they basically rule the world. They rule the world with pride. They feel as if they can't be touched. All right. Primarily Babylon, okay, aka America, feels this way. But that pride is what's going to destroy you. Okay, that pride is what's going to cause the nations to hate you. Okay, it says, "Because of unrighteous dealings, injuries, and riches got by deceit, the kingdom is translated from one people into another." Okay, and that's exactly what's going to happen. All right, because this is how this land, all right, and how all the lands that the Edomites stepped their foots on, how they were gotten. All right, they were gotten by unrighteous dealings, injuries, okay, and riches got by deceit, man. You look at all of the conquests of the Spanish, all of the conquests of the Portuguese, okay, and these other European nations, and this is exactly how they took over the world. All right, but now it's starting to backfire on. Now everybody sees, all right, their true colors, okay, and it's no mystery, all right, who the devil is, man. Okay, so we're in the last of the last days, man. All right, so I wanted to read this because this basically goes into the four beasts, all right, that was mentioned in Daniel's, and this is Second Ezra, the 11th chapter. It's Second Ezra chapter 11 and verse 40, and those four beasts basically represent different rulerships. All right, one had represented the Babylonians. The other had represented, matter of fact, I got it right here. Yeah, Babylonians, Persians, the Greeks, and the Romans. Okay, so you had The first beast, which was like a lion with the eagles, with eagles' wings, that was the Babylonians. The second beast was the bear, all right, which was the Medo-Persians. Third beast was the leopard with 4 wings and 4 heads, which was Greece. And the fourth beast, terrifying, dreadful, exceedingly strong, was the Roman Empire. Okay, and right now, pretty much what we're living in is an extension of the Roman Empire. Okay, with the EU and NATO. All right, the EU and NATO are essentially an extension of the Roman Empire. Okay. So let me go ahead and jump into this. This is Second Ezra chapter 11 and verse 40. It says, "And the fourth came," it's talking about the fourth beast, "and overcame all the beasts that were past, and had power over the world with great fearfulness." All right, talking about the Roman Empire, "and over the whole compass of the earth with much wicked oppression, and so long time dwelt he upon the earth with deceit. For the earth thou hast not judged with truth, for thou hast afflicted the meek, thou hast hurt the peaceable, thou hast loved liars, and destroyed the dwellings of them that brought forth fruit, and hast cast down the walls of such as did thee no harm. Therefore is thy wrongful dealings come up unto the highest, and thy pride unto the mighty. The highest also looked upon the proud times, and behold, they are ended, and his abominations are fulfilled." And that's right. We're living in that time to where Esau's abominations are fulfilled. Okay, because it's getting to the point where we're seeing wickedness at an all-time high. All right, things that are done today weren't even made possible, back in the ancient world. All right, but now it's possible because of Esau's wicked technology. Okay, they want to be like the Most High. All right, but they're doing everything on the left-hand side. You see? So it says, "The highest also looked upon the proud times, and they are ended, and his abominations are fulfilled, and therefore appear no more, thou eagle, nor thy horrible wings, nor thy wicked feathers, nor thy malicious heads, nor thy hurtful claws, nor all of thy vain body. All right, that all the earth may be refreshed and may return, being delivered from thy violence, and that she may hope for the judgment and mercy of him that made her." Okay, and so that's the point that we get into right now. All right, the earth needs to be refreshed. Okay, everything's all polluted. All right, it just made me think about it. I watched a documentary like about a couple of weeks ago about the creator of Teflon, and pretty much how he polluted the whole earth. All right, now everybody has these forever chemicals within them, all right, or has remnants of these forever chemicals within them because of Esau, man. You see? So here it is, everybody's using these non-stick pans and using Teflon within all different types of things, and the whole time, it's destroying your body, man. Okay? But that's Esau for you. All right, he plays with these different chemicals and does things in the lab. He's a mad scientist, you see. But it's all disbenefiting, you see. It's all it's not to the benevolence of the earth, you see. It doesn't bring forth any fruit. It just brings forth death. Okay, so the earth needs to be refreshed, from these devils, man, and may return to being delivered from thy violence, all right, that she may hope for the judgment and the mercy of him that made her. And that's what we're doing. We're hoping for the judgment and the mercy of Yahweh Hashem Yahushua to deliver us up out of this place, man. Okay, because you got various things happening throughout the earth, and we see the signs. All right, we see the signs that Yahushua is getting ready to return, and Lord willing, we be those men. Okay, hey, so with that, Lord willing, this was edifying unto the elect. Again, this is various topics. All right, just wanted to go into a few prophecies, things that are happening in the world. And Lord willing, this was edifying unto the elect. Again, hey, all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh Hashem Yahushua, Hashem Rakal Kodash. And until next time, I'd like to say, hey, Shalom.